Welcome back, my friends, to the second training video in this series, and I'm going to be discussing how to gain greater mastery over your biochemistry. So if you would like to raise your health significantly, lose body weight effectively and rapidly, and also have a much more peaceful, harmonious interaction in your relationships, these ideas are going to be of value to you. With regards to the biochemistry, it's really about what we're adding to the body in terms of our diet, and also what's inside the body already being manufactured, our hormones, our neuropeptides, and which of course lead to our feeling state and mood, etc. To gain full mastery over our biochemistry, we need to be able to manage effectively and control both what's added to the body and also what's already inside the body. So first of all, let's take a look at what we're adding to the body in terms of diet. And this is something that we could debate over for endless amounts of time with so many different ideas. This is a short video, so I'm going to cut straight back to a simple concept, and that is this. When you go to buy your food, or particularly when you go to place it into your mouth and enter it into your body, just consider, could you find this food naturally growing in the environment? Could you get it out of the ground? Could you pluck it off a tree? Could you find it grazing on the land or somewhere in the sea? Because if you can, then it's a whole food, and this is the sort of food that you want to be adding to the body. It's what it's used to digesting. As soon as we take food away from that natural state, preferably organic, then it starts to become more of a problem for the body. And so when you go to buy your food, look at it and think, first of all, if it's in the packaging, if it's not from the produce section, I'll be passing a careful eye over that of discernment. If you look at it and think, there is no way I could find this growing in the environment, with the exception of meals that you've prepared through cutting up produce, etc., then I would be taking that out of your diet, because what it's going to do is it's going to be harder for your body to break down, and it's going to leave all sorts of additive crap in your system that your liver and kidneys and excretory systems are going to have to slave away getting rid of. So it's going to reduce the performance of your organ function, it's going to labour them, and ultimately cause you to have a more sluggish metabolism. So the simple way around that is to just choose naturally organic whole foods most of the time, if you can. The other aspect of this is, of course, what you drink, what you add to your body in terms of fluids, and it's very simple. When you're thirsty, your body needs water. Now, one of the easiest things that you can do to elevate your health very significantly is go out there and buy yourself a water filter, a quality one, preferably perhaps a reverse osmosis that remineralizes the water and leaves it in an alkaline state. Because the modern diet, particularly because there's so much sugar added to everything, this really acidifies the body in general, and that's not conducive to a great healthy state. It's more conducive to dysfunction and disease. So drinking quality purified alkaline water is a simple way to reverse that situation. If you're drinking other fluids, it's probably got additives to it. Well, of course it has if it's not water, and likely it's not going to be so good for you, particularly the sugary ones or anything with stimulants in it is not going to allow your system to balance correctly, with the possible exception of things like organic bone broth, which is very, very nutritious, and organic whole raw milk, which can also be healthy to some metabolisms. But the best way to discern when it comes to diet is simply become attuned to your body state. Know how you feel after consuming the food and be honest about that. Your body lets you know straight away if it's good for you. If it's not, you'll be dull, you'll be flat, you'll be irritable, grumpy, unfulfilled, etc. Take note of that and then remove it from your diet from that point in. So enough on diet. I'll come back to that at a later point in another video with some experts on the subject to help elaborate on that. So let's come to the internal chemical state, the hormones, the neuropeptides that are responding to your mind and how you feel. It is extremely important that we gain control over this, because our mood state, you'll know, is also linked with what we eat. When you're down, when you're grumpy, irritable, sad, depressed, etc., often this is the time when you go for the chocolate, the sugar, the ice cream, the packet of chips, whatever it is, this form of junk food that's going to temporarily allow you to feel better, although it won't allow you to feel healthy. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with indulging a bit of junk food every now and then, but the question is, do you want to be an addict that is going for something because you need to, or would you rather be a conscious person that's just simply choosing to enjoy a little bit of indulgence every now and again? So I prefer to be the second one, because that's the one in control. The addict is not in control. The addict is enslaved to the environment, and when the addict doesn't get what it's need, the addict is unhappy. So if you want to be happy, gain control of your emotions. Now, it's not so simple to do that, is it? Because it's a little bit like we are grumpy Santa walking around with this sack of unresolved issues from the past, things that pissed us off, upset us, etc. And every now and again something comes up that will remind us of that. This would be our buttons, right? Our triggers. And so we'll get out one of those gifts from the past and re-examine it and get grumpy again and become disturbed and distracted and take that out on people and become less productive, etc., because we can't focus. And wouldn't it be so much more easy if we could just let that sack go, drop behind us, and keep walking through our life without that burdening us? That would be more ideal, wouldn't it? But it's not so simple, because we need to resolve those issues, and how to resolve that is the topic of conversation that I will talk about more in video number 4. But ultimately, it is a gift that we are carrying around, because if we unwrap it correctly, we'll find that there is an understanding that can be revealed there, a wisdom about life, and that will allow us to move forward more effectively. The other aspect, aside from clearing that baggage, dropping the sack of the past, is to have a belief structure that actually accommodates reality, allows reality to be as it is. That will allow us to be in harmony with what's happening in our life, and thereby we can remain undisturbed. That is the conversation topic of the next video, video number 3. But for now, I'm going to leave you with an analogy. If we hop into a boat and go out upon the ocean, if a storm rises up and the wind is howling and blowing, then the waves upon the ocean become very choppy. And so if you're on the boat, this can be very unpleasant, even make you ill, because you're moving all over the place. And yet, if the wind subsides and the storm moves away, then the ocean surface will become clear and calm again, and that can be a very enjoyable experience to float along like that. And the thing is that you actually have an ocean of fluid within you, and what controls that is your emotions, is your biochemistry, is your skill at managing that. And the most important thing that we can do to absolve that disturbance is to clear the storm in our mind. So I'm going to elaborate further on that in the next video. Until then, contemplate what I said, and I'll look forward to being with you again soon.